Thank you, Pete. So not only am I between you and the bar, but also a bunch of really cool cores. But I want to thank the organizing committee for this incredible meeting. Pete, it's been a great meeting, and Tim Carr, and Lee Avery, and the whole organizing team. Let's give them a round of applause, everybody. Boy, I'll tell you, this has been just a fun meeting. So a little bit earlier this afternoon, Linda and I got to go up to West Virginia University with Dan Millman and meet some of the students up there, and that was quite fun. And now I'm happy that we're able to get back to be with you. So I'd like to say a few words. I'd like to say three things that I think makes the Eastern section special. And I said it a little bit at the opening ceremony, but basically, this is where the brain power is. The number of schools in the Eastern section and the number of student chapters in AAPG is far greater than any of the other sections. So this is where a lot of smart people enter the industry. And it's interesting because the industry takes you in a lot of places. The second thing is the rocks. And the Eastern section has long had a great history of understanding the basics of structural geology and sedimentology and all of the fundamental geochemistry. And then the other thing is technology transfer, meetings like these. So for the longest time, the Appalachian Basin and the Eastern section have been providing insights that have helped not just the Eastern section, but that have been useful to the history of petroleum geology and that have been applied in many places. So right now, this is a special year for AAPG. It's our 100th anniversary, and it's kind of our bridging year because technically until February, this coming February 2018, which will be the actual 100th anniversary of the foundation of AAPG, then we click over to the 101st year. So we're at a critical time, having had a century. We talked a little bit earlier today that it's hard for any organization to last for 100 years and continue to be vital. But you know what? We've managed to do it. We've managed to be innovative. And so I see in some of the great petroleum, richly endowed petroleum provinces, like the Appalachian Basin, a super basin, that the technology keeps us able to keep reinventing. Who would have thought, not that long ago, that things in the Appalachian had really slowed down? And then, around 2010, we've had a major renaissance. And it's happening in other basins, like the Permian Basin, and it's happening around the world. And so this technology that's happening in the Permian Basin and in the Appalachian Basin and the Gulf of Mexico is really making a difference globally to making prosperity and making people's way of life better. So I'd like to say just a few things about my favorite topics. So thank you, Pete, for mentioning discovery thinking. It's been a program that's near and dear to my heart. For the last 10 years at AAPG annual meetings and at international meetings, the ICE meetings, we've been hosting talks where people tell discovery stories and what are their insights, and they share critical data and they guide us through the whole process. What were the challenges? What were the lessons? What are things that we can take and apply either in that particular area or use it and think laterally and apply it somewhere else that has similarities or commonalities. And so after this decade, we have had 115 men and women, many of them from the Appalachian Basin, like Greg Jewell and William Zagorski, come and talk and share their insights with us. So for me, that's been a real joy to be a part of the Discovery Think program. And there are videos of most of those talks on the AAPG website, by the way, in case you're interested in hearing from some of the great explorers on the discoveries. Another project I want to mention, and of course, since the AAPG bookstore is here, and I have a role as president to help show the merchandise, we just got a new Giant Fields book came out just a few days ago. And you'll notice the Marcellus is on the cover, and it's got a real beautiful paper by Bill Zagorski on Giant Fields. And as we did this project on Giant Fields, it was interesting. We did time slices. Over 100 years, every 10 years, we did time slices. Where were the discoveries of Giant Fields made? And what I find is very interesting Some of them started in the Middle East, but an awful lot of them started in North America. And as you go through the decades, you can actually watch the time slices that the discoveries are spreading outwards. And I like to think of it as a fertile crescent of know-how from places like the Appalachian Basin, the Permian Basin, all of these areas, the Gulf of Mexico, where people perfected the oil finding skills, and then the dots start moving out from North America, and they start getting down to South America, and a lot of the people, and AAPG, I'd like to think, and other professional societies, had an important role in teaching and providing the oil finding know-how that helped us find giant fields now globally. And we're still pushing the limits of where giant fields are going to be found. There's whole new areas. And then another project, since I'm on there, we have petroleum, history of the petroleum geologist. This is a wonderful program. Jim Hill, EPA president, sitting right up here. This was an event that we did at the annual meeting. Some of you may have joined us, and it was just Wallace Pratt. We had an actor playing Wallace Pratt, teaching us about exploration, and we have stories in here about interesting men and women. And now one more book. It's kind of like I have a library. You may notice this incredible mural behind me. Have you had a chance to come up and take a look at it? I encourage you to do so. We have a committee at AAPG that has, for the 100th anniversary, that has gone out and documented 100 pioneering women in the history of AAPG. And the stories are absolutely fantastic. And in fact, this will be the last book, by the way. I have a book written by one of our past presidents. Many of you know Robbie Gries. And Robbie, with some other very talented helpers, have put this book together. And it's a fabulating, inspiring stories about women who pioneered. And so, I don't want to carry all these books back with me. So, I would like to present, Meryl, I see you looking at me. Would you please, I want to thank you because today we had the Eastern Section Board meeting, and a lot of people got recognized for helping in the Eastern Section. And Meryl, you have been the APG YP chair for 3 years, and I know you're handing it over to Andy Smith, but I would like to say thank you because we love young professionals at APG, and I want to thank you for what you've done. So if I can give you this book, you're helping me out so I don't have to carry it home. All right. So now the question is, what next, okay? So we've had 100 years, it's been pretty exciting, but we're working to improve the technical content of the APG Bulletin with really proactive stuff. And we're also working to supplement the annual conference that's going to be coming up in Salt Lake City. We're going to have some talks on these super basins where we share best practices, and we're also going to have a program in March in Houston where people from all of the super basins, as many as we can get, we have 8 or 10 of them signed up, from the Western Canada Sedimentary Basin, from the Williston Basin, from the Permian Basin, from the Gulf of Mexico, and I hope that we'll have some representatives from right here in the room, from the Appalachians. And what we're trying to accomplish with this, it's the next century for APG. So what lessons can we learn and share that are working techniques in each of these new revitalized basins? And I want to encourage everyone here, so here's the call to action. Thank you to all of those of you who have presented at this conference. And in fact, I would like, if we might, to give all the presenters, poster and oral, a round of applause. You deserve it. What you have done is you have shared your experiences. And I would like to say, keep doing it, because that's how we all get better. We help each other. That is, we are in a collaborative space here. And I would like to encourage you to bring real data. And I saw a great example. He helped remind me, Cole Bauer. So there, I saw a talk this morning, Cole Bauer, I don't know if you're here, but I love what you did, because you shared some of the results. Thanks, Cole. You shared some of the results of the work that you were working on, and then you just asked for people to give you some suggestions and input. And I thought that was really beautiful, because I hope that you were able to get something that was useful to you. But I think that that really emphasizes to me the importance that we're here to share, and we're here to help each other. And yes, I know that it's a competitive business, but we can share ideas because, you know, in the end, it's important for everybody to help each other, because this is a tough problem, finding oil and gas. And so with that, I would like to say a big thank you here, because the people in this room that are oil and gas finders, and the people who help the oil and gas finders, the service companies, the surveys, anybody who's helping that industry, our industry, succeed, what we're doing is we're making life better for people. We're helping improve the prosperity of the world. Energy makes things better. It wasn't much fun back in the dark ages, and it really wasn't fun back in cave times. And now we have the benefits of energy and the products of energy that help us live really productive and healthy lives. And so I would like to say thank you, everyone, for making a difference. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being professionals, and thank you for supporting your professional society. And come take a look at this incredible mural when you get a chance, on the way to the course and on the way to the bar. Thank you.